Game Up Hard Hydration. It's like your favorite sports drink and your favorite seltzer. Came together, had a baby, but it's so much better. And Dave loves this stat line. He's got it down by memory by this point.
Oh, yeah. We're talking about 4 great flavors that come in an 8-pack, guys. We're talking about fruit punch, orange, lemon lime, grape. And guys, don't feel guilty about drinking it. It's low carb. It's only 110 calories. Enjoy yourself some Game Up.
We are going to get into our 2025 prediction. A 2025 male wrestler of the year.
I had trouble deciding because there's nobody like breakout star this coming year. There's a lot of people I see with potential, but as far as like going to be in that main event spot and continuing, it's really hard to say. In AEW, it's wide ass open right now. That's a fun description, huh? And WWE, I feel like it's a little more like you got Cody, you got Roman, and then you have like potentially The Rock or somebody coming back. You're gonna have John Cena back this year, but those guys aren't going to be here for the long haul. So I'm going to say Cody Rhodes still. I'm going to say he's going to be the guy this year, but you can't wait. Is this what I said last year?
I'll let you wait till the video to see how many years in a row you've made this prediction.
And guess what? It's working.
It's a safe one. It's the best of the predictions that we did. I'm gonna go out on a limb. And I'm going to say Jacob Fatu. There was a lot this year about how Solo Sikoa is good, but once they brought in Jacob Fatu, people started questioning, if Solo's the guy. And now that you know who we want for this
headline WrestleMania every year.
This is what we said last year. 2024, we are going to predict male wrestler of the year. I'm going to go first because I think it's going to be hard for MJF to drop that top spot.
I agree with you. MJF makes a lot of sense, but just to be different, I'm going to go with my man, Cody Rhodes, baby. I'm going 2 years in a row. Cody don't let me down. Wrestler has more than one royal family. Finish the goddamn story. WrestleMania 40, night 2. Take what's yours, baby boy. Take it. 3-peat, motherfucker. 3-peat.
I know. One of us looked like a fucking fool, and one of us knocked it out of the park. I loved going back and seeing that because I remember at the end of last year, there was such hope for MJF. I wouldn't have guessed like a movie. I wouldn't have guessed all that time off. We'll see what else.
The storyline with Adam Cole just went ass wide open.
Female wrestler of the year for 2025. Are you going to say Brandy Rhodes? Are you going to shock us here?
I'm going to go my girl, Rhea Ripley, baby. Rhea Ripley. I don't know if I called this last year. I bet I did. I'm saying she's doing it again because I think she was on her way to owning this year, but the injury took her out. I think she's going to do what she was going to do now. Now, that being said, I do want to just say, in this category, there's a lot of different women I can see really, really killing it. I mean, Mariah May in AEW, Toni Storm could always come back with something too. And as far as WWE, Liv Morgan's been killing it. There's surprise people like Tiffany Stratton, even Chelsea Green is getting this kind of crazy response. All of a sudden, you got Bianca, Jade. There's so many women that could kill it. I feel there's a little more variety of things that could happen here. But I'll go Rhea Ripley.
There 100% is. And I feel like the woman that is going to hold that woman of the year, there's a lot of names out there, but you haven't named one, the queen of wrestling. She is returning Monday. She is going to take her, I guess it's a crown for the queen. I don't know what it is. But Charlotte Flair is going to be woman of the year because she's had all that time off. She has seen this different, like some women she came up with and some women that have came up right after her. She has seen them all, ascend, but she is going to take that top spot this year. And if you want to know why you should listen to us, here's another clip. Female wrestler of the year. Let's hope we have some more luck this time. I'm going to make a safe pick. Rhea Ripley is going to stay on top as female of the year.
Tell you what, I'm going to go a little different. I actually had originally written down Toni Storm. I'm going to go in a total different direction. I'm going to have a little fun with this. Jade Cargill.
It's going to be her come up year because as of now, she has been seen in WWE, but not in the ring. I would like to think that perhaps, I wanted to change Rhea Ripley for Toni Storm, but I got to stay with Rhea.
Could be.
Just because Rhea's just hot. And it's going to continue going. Toni Storm is heating up.
she's going to have a good year, but I don't know if it's going to knock Rhea off that spot.
All right. Not bad.
It-
I mean, we were definitely a little more on here. Yeah.
It was definitely close. Like Toni Storm had a great year.
Yeah.
Rhea Ripley would have had that spot had she not been injured. But even injured, she really contended for that top spot. I think that injury helped Liv Morgan maybe get considered. It showed how much hope we had for Jade Cargill at the end of 2023. And I still think it was a good pick. It could be her year this year, in fact.
And I'll give a little credit too. Even Liv Morgan's success has probably a lot to do with Rhea Ripley, helping her, despite the injury and everything, helping her elevate this year, along with Dominic and that whole storyline.
Definitely. Now, moving on to Tag Team of the Year, this is a category that we haven't had a lot of hope in. Like, we're both big tag team fans.
Yeah.
Tag team wrestling hasn't been at a premium necessarily the last couple of years. 2024, we saw a lot of great tag team stuff. We talked about it when talking about Final Battle, that ROH tag division is sneaky good. You've got a lot of good teams in each division for each company, but nobody's really took over. So I want this to be FTR's year. I feel big things coming, and I feel that FTR is going to be at the center of that push.
I am going to go a little wild here. It's going to make me a little WWE heavy, but I feel this is an open category too. I do feel like AEW has the stronger team, so probably just going to be someone out of there. But I will say, going different, American made, the Creed brothers. I want to see those guys really take over. Will they? Who knows?
Let's see what we said in 2024.
Tag team of the year. Maybe I was stalling because somebody doesn't have a pick yet. Who's your tag team of the year? Well, I try and decide.
I'm going to go with the Creeds. Dominant NXT, putting together some wins in WWE. I think this is going to be their year. I think Triple H is high on these guys, and I think they kind of remind me, I've said this before, of kind of like a Steiner Brothers, but a modern day version. Could always be FTR too, if they put back together quite a run. But right now, I'm going to go with the Creeds.
The Creeds is a good pick. I saw what they did on Monday, and I really like their placement in that match. It's tough. I'm going to go with, there's not any tag team that I feel like 100% behind that, like, making the pick. I feel like they're going to be there the start of next year. I feel good about Finn and Damian, but I feel like they're close to a split. I'm going to go with the Creeds just because it feels like Triple H is starting to get behind them. It's hard to tell because it's still so early, but they seem to have the most promise of any team of really standing out and not like breaking up or getting like pushed around in a storyline right now.
If anything, I am consistent. What I like.
The more things change, the more they stay the same. And I knew this was going to be fun looking at our picks. I didn't know it was going to be this fun though.
I felt like it could have been the Creed's year this year. I felt they stalled out for whatever reason. I don't know if they injured somebody or what the deal was, but they just didn't click. But I feel like with Chad Gable, like that stable just has so much potential. I also feel the same way about another stable that they haven't really got really behind yet, but I feel like it's there, is Karrion Kross and his stable there.
Before you move on, because it's almost like we're thinking with one brain here, but I think 2024 did a lot for establishing the Creeds. They got to participate in GCW's Bloodsport, which we got to see another side of them. I really hope that they do, grow more as this year goes, because like big fans of tag team wrestling, you could hear in that we both liked them last year.
FTR too. We're still
there's only room to grow. There is a category I did not give you for this year.
Okay.
We talked about it last year.
I didn't get any categories.
You already talked about it. Surprise faction of the year.
Well, that's funny because I just mentioned Karrion Kross's faction. But working through this on the air a little bit, Moxley and his Death Riders, no. Take that out right away. Moxley's great. They're all great, but I'm just not enjoying that storyline. The Wyatt Sticks, the Six, no. I mean, it's nice to get an eruption, but I wouldn't put them as the top group. I like American Made, but they're not, you know what I mean? They're not there yet. So that's an interesting one. I'll tell you what I will do. I will pick
Bloodlines.
Okay, the Bloodline, yeah. So that's Nah, you just totally killed my pick because that's probably when I'm looking at legitimacy and like established, and then you kind of probably have to do that. I would go with the OTC bloodline with Roman Reigns because I mean you got Jimmy Uso, Roman Reigns, and Jay's probably in and out. You know what I mean? You got Sammy, so I'll go with that. But I will mention another faction that I'm high on. I hope to see big things this year, and it's not WWE. It's the Hurt Syndicate. Benjamin, Lashley, MVP. I love this group. I love this song. We hurt people. I love it, baby. I love it all. And last night when we were watching, I said this in our group chat when we were talking about possibly Max Caster, turning on Bowens. And I was like, I don't want to see either of these guys. Like, it's not a knock on Bowens or Caster, but the look of like the Hurt business, Benjamin, Lashley. Like, I want to be legit, like throwing it back to the Creed brothers. I want somebody that looks like that with that kind of background being in this group. That's what I want to see.
That tag team coming out looked great. And I'm going to pick a different bloodline than you because I like the Solo Sikoa, Jacob Fatu, Gorillas of Destiny bloodline. And if you're going to take the bloodline out of it, I'm going to vote for the Wyatt Six. Not that I think they're going to be the best faction, but they are using them sparingly enough that they're a notable faction. They're a very impactful faction. And anytime they're going to be on screen, they're going to command your attention. And what's going to command your attention now is our 2024 picks.
Faction of the year. Who is running things in 2024?
Hard to say. I think that the Judgment Day will just abandon. The Bloodline right now is currently really not a thing too much. Although I will say you never know if the Judgment Day, if like the Gorillas of Destiny or some other members maybe came into WWE, they could be the big deal again. That being said, I'm going to go to AEW with this one. I'm going to go with House of Black because I feel like they're still capable of doing big things. And I don't see them just abandoning it anytime soon.
I am also going to stay in AEW for this one, but I am going to go the group in the Devil Mask attacking MJF. We are going to find out possibly who they are this week. And I feel like they are going to gain steam throughout 2024. And that is going to be the big storyline. Who's in the group? Yet to be seen. You could speculate. I mean, by the time this comes out, I'm talking a couple weeks ago, whoever's been attacking MJF will be in a tag match. And that group, they're going to be the ones.
I'll tell you what, man.
They were not the ones. That storyline ate some shit.
I'll tell you what, man. When I saw my pick for House of the Black, and I love House of Black, but I'm like, oh man, like they dropped the ball with them. Like they should have been more. And then I heard you say it, I'm like, well, I'm like, talk about, even like worse was that group. But I forgot. Yeah, at some point it did look like they would have had potential with that.
And I loved how you called the whole bloodline thing before it happened. And that was at a time where we weren't sure if that bloodline storyline was coming back around because, it was hot early in the year. And then we figured after like that one note was done with it, we're like, is that storyline finished?
Right.
Little did we know it would heat up and be so much bigger.
Because there was no Rock either.
2024 Company of the Year. Any bold predictions, Dave?
No. It's still going to be. I'll tell you this. WWE got so hot this year. I don't see that dwindling down, especially with this Netflix deal, which I'm sure we'll talk more about later on in the show. But with that Netflix deal, I think this company is going to go even bigger. In fact, I'm going to say this almost reminds me of the 80s. 84, we started to have that rock and wrestling connection. Hogan won the title. Hulkamania's on. And 85, we had like WrestleMania 1. I feel like we just went through 84 in 2024. Now we're going to 85 in 2025. I bet you next year we may dip a little bit. And then in 2027, it's going to be like WrestleMania 3 all over again. They're going to find something. And then who knows? After that, we might be in one of our declines. Because if you've been a wrestling fan for years and years, that's just how this business works. But I'll say that, for right now, WWE is going to be very, very, very hot. I can't see. I hope AEW kills it. I hope some other promotions kill it too. But I don't see anybody knocking WWE off the top right now.
I can't wait to play this back in 2026 because I'm going to make the bold prediction. I feel like AEW has to gain some steam this year. They're on max. they're being presented as clearly like a number 2 at the moment, or like even lower. A lot of people aren't thinking a lot
Distant
about
number
Tony
2.
Khan's direction. So I'm going to say that AEW is going to make some big moves this year, and now, I'm not saying they're going to defeat WWE. There's no
No.
way that's happening in a year. But in 2026, we are going to look at them as a very close 1B to WWE's 1A.
We'll
Because
see.
this year's Continental Classic or 2024's Continental Classic was better than 2023's. It's going to get bigger. As we record this, the Wrestle Dynasty pay-per-view is this weekend, the day after Wrestle Kingdom. That connection is going to get bigger, and they're going to be doing things more the right way, and they're going to be looked at as less of a joke.
I mean,
Now,
you got Kenny
speaking of less,
Omega returning. You do have
yes.
Mercedes Moné, who's actually catching fire all of a sudden. It was like initially wasn't, but now she's putting on these great matches. MJF is back a little more full time now, and that'll be even more so. Samoa Joe's got to be in it. So, and now you already have Bobby Lashley and these guys with these other guys coming in. So there's definitely room to grow. There's definitely potential. They have the roster to do it. It's just putting it all together. I hope they do. I hope you're right. But also, I just feel like WWE's got so much big stuff happen this year. It's just a question of hopefully AEW can do some stuff where they're in the conversation too.
Gotta agree with you there.
Most enjoyable company of the year.
I'm going to go with WWE.
Did we repeat last year?
I'm going with WWE this year. I think there's going to be some good stuff in AEW. Wembley will probably be great, but at the end of the year, like WWE is so on fire right now in terms of their top overall programs. Unless something drastically change, they have the momentum. So I will go with WWE.
Yeah, I am right there with you. It's got to be WWE. I mean, GCW has promise, MLW has promise, but WWE is the king for a reason. And I feel like recently with what they've done with like the whole Vince move and just what we saw with the bringing in of CM Punk, they have a lot of promise.
Yeah, Punk's another one who's really caught fire. So, good on you talking about that too back then, because I don't know if I knew how good this Punk run would have been, but I feel like lately, especially his stuff with Drew McIntyre and now his stuff with Seth Rollins has really elevated that. And I actually think it too. This is a little bit on the side, but I mean that favor he told Paul Heyman, I'm going to team up with Roman Dudes, but you owe me a favor. And CM Punk and Roman Reigns will both be on Monday Night Raw this week, which is so crazy though, because I feel like The Rock is probably going to come back, and there's so many ways things could go.
Yeah, we're gonna take a little side trip here, and everybody talks New Year's resolutions, and I thought, why not get into a couple for the podcast? It's something we've been talking about off air, but we can share it here. I'll go first to give you a minute to think, because right off the bat, in previous years, I've done our year-end numbers and our year prediction numbers for the next year. I am dropping that this year because I'm not putting any expectations on what we do. And I'm joining you right in there with just worrying about putting out good content, putting out consistent content, and really just growing all our social media brands, because we're just under 10,000 subscribers for all our social media. A lot of people that watch us on YouTube aren't subscribers. I would like that trend to change this year and have it be, if you're watching us, you're subscribed. I want those non-subscribers still to watch, but I'd like to do something different as well. And other than that, just doubling down on our YouTube, on our TikTok, on our Instagram, on our X, on our Facebook, just connecting with people more. And we have that big project that's going to be announced in a couple months that we're going to start working on. So if you're interested in filling out a wrestling survey, email us workingfanswrestlingpod@gmail.com. We'll get that survey out to you. And Dave, any New Year's resolutions for the podcast?
Yeah, a couple. Yeah. So when we talk about social media, we're talking about X, Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. We're almost at 10,000 combined. I like to hit that. I know we're going to hit that because I know our numbers and we're very, very close. We'll hit that probably by February or March at the latest. So I'd like to do that. I'd like to maybe get that Pro Wrestling Tees deal or something afterwards, just to have like some t-shirts just for funsies. I'd also like to get people more involved in this show, which might be what we're alluding to, and we have some ideas. I'd like for us to do some work on TikTok. I got a little delayed there, but at some point, hoping that me and you will have the ability to do a live show together at TikTok. So at some point, I'd like to do that. And YouTube, continue to grow this channel. Maybe we can get these guys back on. That's going to be tight. And I'll see. That's it. And also just enjoy it. And maybe we clearly have hit something with our YouTube shorts. Like there's something, the comparisons. People love it when I take the two wrestlers or two tag teams or two boxers, and I talk about dream matches and who was better. People love to comment it. We're getting such a great community out of that. I'd like to maybe do something more with our longer videos too. And maybe we can figure that out.
100%. And like a Jewett City first date, we will definitely hit that. And before we get into Netflix and Raw, do you have any random 2025 predictions for us? Something that doesn't necessarily fit a category?
Well, we didn't talk really about breakout stars, but I had a couple of those already listed, so I'll just mention Trick Williams is a guy, just be on the lookout for. He's got great charisma. Julia down at NXT, she's been a star in Japan for years already, and I feel like, she's going to cross over and be something great. Kyle Fletcher has been killing it in AEW. I think he's one to watch out for. I think there's so many potential, like, breakout stars in the next level. Joe Hendry, Jordan Grace, they could all be coming to WWE or something in the next year too. Just really, really a lot of good stuff. So we'll see. Just look out for some of these breakout stars this year, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I like every name that you mentioned. We've seen, a little bit of him in WWE. It's only going to get bigger. I'd like to think this is going to be Bandito's breakout year when he comes back, because he's had a weird start and stop. Yeah, Penta's going to be huge in WWE as far as like the indies. I'd love to see Miracle Generation and Waves and Curls both hit, bigger platforms and get featured a little more as well.
You know what also I hope to, with a lot of the footage and news over the weekend of Omos and Noah and Nakamura and Noah, I really look forward to seeing more of this community where WWE is sending wrestlers to other companies and helping out. AEW is doing the same. I hope that we keep getting more of that.
100%. And here's some random 2024 predictions we made.
Are there any other bold claims, big predictions you want to make for 2024?
I'll do a couple other predictions. Will Ospreay wins the AEW World Championship. That'll be a prediction I like to make. Like I said, I think Cody Rhodes will win the WWE World Championship off of Roman in 20. I think Roman Reigns loses the title in 2024. Even if it's not at WrestleMania 40, he'll use it at SummerSlam or Survivor. He will lose it this year. That's my guess.
My bold claim is The Rock is going to appear at WrestleMania 40, cost Roman Reigns, and that is going to be the feud. Maybe not the feud going forward, but there will be a match somewhere down the line. That's how Cody gets the title. I see CM Punk taking the other title off Seth Rollins. I think that is going to be a feud that's going to make up 2024. If you're a fan of ours, please keep watching the videos, keep liking, keep sharing, tell your friends to subscribe, share an episode with somebody that you think they would enjoy, because so many of the people that watch us aren't subscribed. And if you're not subscribed, just click like, click subscribe.
110 calories.
If you haven't tried Game Up, then you are missing out. Imagine your favorite seltzer and your favorite sports drink had a baby, but it's way better than that. Each can is 110 calories, low carb, 4.9 ABV. It's a nice light drink that is not light on flavor. Game Up comes in fruit punch, orange, lemon, lime, and grape. Pick it up at drinkgameup.com or at your nearest liquor store.